Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to TNQVD, and this is the Google Home, and it's finally here in India. A bit of a backstory here, I had a real robust interest in the Google Home since the day it was announced back in November of 2016. I waited for months, yet Google never spoke a word about launching the Google Home in India. I had one of three choices, either getting the Google Home imported, which had its disadvantages because what if Google Home was officially launched within a few days after I had ordered it? I would have spent just a lot of useless money on customs. The second option was to go for the Amazon Alexa, and the third was to wait and fast forward to April of 2018. I'm glad that I chose the third option. So this is the Google Home. It's a 10,000 rupees smart speaker. It's small, compact, and requires to be plugged in all the time, and it has Google Assistant built in. And this is everything that you need to know about the Google Home. The hardware itself is very subtle. It fits well into any environment, which I think is pretty good, unless you specifically want to get your guests' interest with the Google Home. It has a touchpad on the top which you can use to play or pause music, trigger the assistant, or change the volume, and the few circular LED lights on the top indicate the following. The dots turn white when you're adjusting the volume either up or down. The dots turn into the usual Google colors when you are triggering the assistant, and the dots turn orange when the microphone is muted. There is a microphone mute button towards the back of the speaker, and there's also a small LED indicator below it to indicate the condition of the microphone. The speaker mesh is towards the bottom quarter of the speaker, and it's attached to the body of the speaker with a very strong magnet, which does mean that if the gray mesh is kind of boring for you, you can just swap it for another color. When you remove the mesh, you find two speakers facing each direction, and also the microphones that listen to you. Here you also find a USB port, but unfortunately this USB is not for plugging it in, it's just for service and diagnostic purposes. The power port is towards the bottom, and it's a proprietary power port. I do not know why would Google do that, but hey. I don't really know if it'll work with the battery pack, but anyways it doesn't use the same micro USB standard which I've told you earlier. It's a shame, to be honest. Now, as a speaker, the Home is pretty good. It sounds good, and it's definitely got some low ends to it, unlike its smaller brother, the Google Home Mini. And it does kind of fill the room with its sound. However, this is Google's speaker, and that is what makes all the difference. Google has tons of data about us, a lot of data, and I don't really want to get into the whole mess of Cambridge Analytica, but as long as I'm aware of what Google knows about me, and if it's using the information it knows about me to provide services that actually help me, then I don't really have a problem. The Google Assistant part is without a doubt the best part of the whole experience of owning the Google Home. Google Assistant works like you'd expect it to, however, it certainly adds a whole new dimension of flexibility when the Google search engine is always listening to you. I mean, you could never have your phone with its screen locked and ask it to do stuff for you unless you have a Pixel, of course. Talking to Google Home almost feels natural, except the redundant part of having to say okay Google or hey Google every time you want to start the assistant. A few things about the experience before we go into what the Home can and cannot do. If you've been following the tech news, you would know that when the Google Home came out, it couldn't distinguish different people. This, of course, was a problem since unlike your phone, your house almost certainly has many occupants. With a software update in March, however, Google has eliminated the problem by adding multi-user support. Here's how it works. You ask a member in your family to download the Google Home app either from the Play Store or the App Store and have them set up the app as usual. When the prompt for setting up a new device comes, cancel it and it'll automatically recognize any home device that's on the same Wi-Fi that they're on. Once they identify the device, they can log in with their Google account and set up their voice using voice matching, and now Google Home can distinguish your voice from theirs. It will now personalize the experience for every individual. Google Home can theoretically allow for 6 user accounts, but I've only tried it with 3. One thing that hasn't changed since Google Home was launched is its incapability of being able to call or send messages to residents of the world other than the US or the UK, and I also believe Canada. Okay, so what can the Google Home do, and is it worth the 10,000 rupees that you're spending? Well, first off, Google Home does a lot of things pretty well. As I mentioned earlier, it can fill up the room with music, and it also can hear you from a very far away distance. Google Home can also control your home's smart appliances like the Philips Hue or the Nest thermostats, all of which are pretty expensive in India. Here's something that the Google Home can be used for. Okay Google, good morning.
Hi, Swapnanil. It is 4:23 p.m. Currently in Chennai it's 34 and mostly sunny. It'll be partly cloudy with a forecast high of 36 and a low of 28. Have a wonderful day. Here's the latest news. From Times of India top stories at 10:04 am today.
Okay, Google. Stop. Okay, Google, how does the traffic to the airport look like?
On your way to Chennai International Airport, there's the usual traffic. You can save 10 minutes by taking Velachery Road. It is 51 minutes by car. I've sent the directions to your phone.
Okay, Google, where's my phone?
I found a few phones. The first listed is a ONEPL USA 303. Should I ring it?
Yes.
Alright, your phone should be ringing now.
Hey Google, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Thank you for this thoughtful question. Every woodchuck is different, each with their own hypothetical chucking abilities. Still, from my read of the literature, one would have to chuck at least their own body weight to be competitive.
Google Home, just like the assistant in the phone, can also remember context. So, okay Google, who's the President of India?
The President of India is Ram Nath Kovind.
Okay Google, when did he assume office?
According to Wikipedia, Ram Nath Kovind is the 14th and current President of India in office since the 25th of July 2017.
Hey Google, when was he born?
October 1st, 1945.
One of the coolest aspects to owning the Google Home is that it's almost like a personal DJ. Once you connect it to your music service, you can ask Home to play almost any song and it will play that within a few seconds. Even while the music is playing, you can ask Assistant for help. For example, if you think the music is too loud, hey Google, can you turn down the music? These are just a few things that you can ask the Google Home to do for you. You can learn more about the actions Google Home is capable of by just asking Google, hey Google, what can you do? So, is it worth the 10 grand that you're spending? As of right now, probably not. The Home Assistant products from Amazon and Google are more like a convenience thing to have rather than a necessity. The smart home speakers are not really a revolution in tech yet. And on top of that, a lot of the home automation, the primary reason for such a device to exist, is still very expensive in India. So, in my opinion, if you really want to try out a new device form factor and you really need a good quality speaker, you should go for the Google Home. If not, I'd ask you to wait for a second version of this air freshener looking smart speaker. So that's been it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, be sure to hit the like button in the description. To subscribe to the channel, click to the button on your right. To watch another video on the channel, click to the button on the left. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.